Sorry.
By the way, I think we're
We saw that and we all like.
Can you tell them what? Yeah. Knocked a lot of that. Deal. They used to be, see, that got hard, now they kind of follow the river. So I'm
This is unheard of.
It's so cool.
It's back in the compliments are the only thing.
Oh, yeah. That's how.
Yeah.
I better watch a lot.
You know.
How long is it? Almost 12 days. And we're stationed. I got out.
Good morning, who do we have?
Good morning, this is Mike with HR.
Hey, Mike, did you do that?
It's called that.
Good morning.
It's in Southern California. And then where'd you go wrong? It's not, called California.
Oh, so you did it all out.
I did it all in San Jose.
Okay, good morning, everyone. It's 10 a.m. Ask you to please rise if you're able for the opening prayer and pledge of allegiance before we convene the Commissioners' Public Meeting. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your goodness, love, and your blessings that you bestow upon us. Lift our eyes to seek you first. We thank you for your mercy and grace each day. Father, we thank you for those that protect us. Next Tuesday, we'll celebrate the Navy Reserve on their 110th birthday. The 100,000 reservists today have served in every major war the U.S. has been engaged. Formed in response to World War I, they comprised of 84% of the Navy during that war. Lord, we thank you for these lives that have graciously served. We ask for your protection over all law enforcement and first responders daily. As we conduct our meeting, may you grant us your wisdom and clarity. May our decisions be in accordance with your will. These things we humbly ask in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good morning. At this time, we'll convene our Commissioners' Public Meeting and ask for approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We read public comment on agenda items only. Anything online?
Nothing online.
Okay, we'll move on to service awards.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This morning, we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of Kimber Smith. And the Board of Commissioners would like to extend congratulations on achieving this 20th year anniversary with the County of Lycoming. We know you have worked hard for this accomplishment since February 27, 2006, and we truly appreciate your dedication. And we want to thank you for being such a valuable member of our team. And we want to wish you the best for continued success. And I would like to also read a note from Dave Huffman, who was unable to be here this morning. Deputy Kimber Smith is a proven valuable asset for Lycoming County, and not just in the office where she is employed. She has expanded her horizons over the years to include the court system and numerous other areas that are part of Lycoming County. She demonstrates a high level of competency for job-related tasks. Kimber works well with the public and supports our office staff to the fullest. She has an amazing set of skills that fits perfectly for day-to-day operations. She demonstrates loyalty to the register and recorder who entrusts her to run the office and make important decisions in his absence. With highest regards, I congratulate Kimber Smith for her 20 years of service to Lycoming County. We wish her continued success in all of her future endeavors. Most importantly, on behalf of everyone in the Register Recorder's Office, we thank you for all that you do. Very sincerely, Dave Huffman. Kimber can come up, please. Birth certificate, and I didn't know if you'd like me to pin this on you or if you would like to pin it on your. It's easier with the guys. You just, it's a little awkward with us, please. If you would like to stand up here, please, or if you'd like to say a few words. You don't have to.
Yeah, you do. Go ahead.
Go ahead and come on up.
I want to thank the county commissioners. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to work in an office that we have a great team. So I'm lucky. So thank you.
Thank you.
Here, we're
I'm gonna say something first, Sam.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Kimber, thank you very much. 20 years in today's world is a long time for someone to spend in one job. Have you been in the register court the whole 20 years? Wow, that's amazing too. I mean, we've had a lot of people hit 20 years milestones, but they usually have 2 or 3 jobs is what I've noticed in my short term here. So congratulations on that. That's an awesome accomplishment and dedication to the county. So hopefully the county's treated you well over the 20 years. And I hope that we continue to treat you well, that you maintain yourself here until your retirement. Thank you.
I'm sure it's been the best 20 years of her life.
Most likely. Sure. The last 2 have probably been the best.
Probably. She wishes it was 25. That's probably what she did. No, I echo what he says, the consistency just in it seems like our parents' generation it was common for people to work at the same place for their whole career. To spend 20 years. And we would assume that you know the job well by now, and that just serves our public, which is what we do. So thank you.
Kimber, thank you for your 20 years of service. I've been a longtime county employee and you're your family away from your family. And when you retire, you miss those people that you worked with because they played a huge role in your life. And so we really appreciate everything that you've done for the county and your service to the constituents. So thank you.
When you retired, did probation miss you?
They said they did.
They said they did.
I missed them.
I'm sorry, you can't get out of
Yeah.
this.
And you have to stand in the middle of the picture.
Thank you so much.
Mark. Always good to celebrate our employees.
We have to go to work.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Okay, moving on to reports. Nikki.
Good morning.
Morning.
Presented for your ratification are invoices due through March 4th, 2026 to be paid on February 25th, 2026 in the amount of $4,211,447.48. 30.13% out of general fund, 7.68 out of ARPA, 18.59 out of other grants, 1.3% out of RMS, and 42.3% out of escrow.
Okay, is there a motion to accept?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll second, but only for 2 million.
No, 30% of it was out of the general fund, so at least not all of it was out of the.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, informational highlights. Michael,
Yes, good morning.
morning.
Got a couple here in the district attorney's office, central processing, Marissa Comp, central processing officer, part-time. There's a CPO at $25 per hour, not to exceed 1,000 hours annually, anticipating start date March 9th, 2026. Also in the district attorney's office, Jordan Stugart, legal assistant, full-time, pay grade 4, 16.235762 cents per hour, 75 hours per pay period, effective date February 15, 2026. In the Register and Recorder's Office, Wendy Kiefer, D. Hart, clerk 3, part-time, pay grade 4 at $16.4616 per hour. This is not to exceed 90 days. Anticipated start date of March 2nd, 2026. And then in the Sheriff's Office, Chad Aldendorfer, Deputy Sheriff First Class, part-time, excuse me, at 26.996912 cents per hour, not to exceed 1,000 hours annually, with an effective date February 22nd, 2026.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Then moving on to personal actions.
Yeah, approve the following personnel actions as conditional offers of employment, subject to the successful completion of a background check and all other employment conditions outlined here in attachment A. On the pre-release center, Dawn Miller, resident supervisor, full-time, union at $19.20 per hour at 80 hours per pay period, effective date March 15th, 2026. In soil conservation, Brenna Schneider, agricultural conservation technician, full-time, pay grade 9, $46,716.735 annually, 75 hours per pay period, anticipated start date March 9th, 2026. And that final one there, that can be removed. They withdrew their name.
Okay, thank you. Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Mike.
Hey, thank you.
At this time, we'll recess Commissioners' meeting for the Community Development Block Grant public hearing. Convene public hearing at this time. Morning, Marissa.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. CEDACOG is requesting the board's approval to modify federal fiscal year 2023's budget and move $24,385 from the Lycoming parking lot restoration project to Saving Grace Shelter for their renovation needs. The reason behind this being Lycoming is in the process of transferring ownership, and they cannot ensure that the project will be a priority. It's not completely abandoned yet, but we wanted to move money where we knew it could be used.
Any comments?
Any comments?
Any comments online?
No comments online.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll adjourn the public hearing and we'll convene the Commissioners' public meeting for action item 7.1.
Okay.
Bedford.
Good, okay. So CEDACOG is requesting the board's approval to adopt 16 policies and agreements required by DCD under the CDBG program. These agreements are renewed every few years and typically remain unchanged. Many of Lycoming County's existing agreements are now either due or overdue for renewal, which is why we are bringing them forward today.
And a motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All fair side?
Aye.
Aye. And 7.2. And if you could read the resolution, please.
The entire resolution?
Yes.
Okay,
Larissa, 1 second.
Okay.
7.1 was your approval of the budget mod.
okay,
That's not what you did.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. So the budget mod certification needs to be approved during the regular meeting, so that should be 7.1. What she read was for the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
If
Okay.
you're okay with backtracking.
Yes,
Apologies.
no problem.
Don, I would say before you, it makes sense that, thank you for moving the money to someplace that it's needed and can definitely be used
Yes.
now, as opposed to just letting it sit in limbo.
Okay, so, CEDACOG is requesting that the, FY 23 money, be modified for the Saving Grace project.
Okay. Motion accept.
I'll make the motion.
I will second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then 7.2, the resolution.
Okay, thank you. Okay, 7.2, the agent resolution. A resolution of the County of Lycoming, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, authorizing the CEDA Council of Governments Community Development staff to execute on behalf of Lycoming County certain documents associated with the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, Community Development Block Grant Entitlement and Competitive Grant Programs. Whereas CEDA Council of Governments is organized pursuant to the Intergovernmental Cooperation Act of July 12, 1972, through which the County of Lycoming has transferred certain of their planning and development functions to CEDA Council of Governments. And whereas through this act and transfer of duties, CEDA Council of Governments serves as a governmental extension of each member county, of which the County of Lycoming is one. And whereas certain administrative documents are maintained and filed by CEDA Council of Governments on behalf of the County of Lycoming in the administration of and repository for the County of Lycoming's Community Development Block Grant Program. And whereas the County of Lycoming has the legal authority to designate an agent for filing and retaining these administrative documents, and whereas the County of Lycoming receives and reviews copies of these documents. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the County of Lycoming Board of Commissioners that the CEDA Council of Governments Community Development Program staff are hereby authorized to prepare, sign, and submit community development block grant administrative documents as itemized on the attached schedule to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, and be it further resolved that this authorization and designation shall expire should there cease to be a professional and administrative services agreement by and between CEDA Council of Governments and the County of Lycoming for administration of the County of Lycoming Community Development Block Grant Program.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion to accept the resolution 2026-06.
I'll make the motion.
I will second.
All fair side.
Aye.
I would like to take 7.3 through 7.6 as a slate. And we'll vote on 7.3, 7.6 after they're read.
Is it fair to say you want to group all of them? I think 7, 9, 10.
We can do that. I just want the resolutions read
Yeah.
and voted on separately.
I think all of them are all policy changes and or adoptions of plans which are consistent with what we talked about. I just identify those numbers.
Okay.
Outside of the resolution.
So outside the resolutions will be 7.3, 7.4, 7.5, 7.6, 7.9, 7.10, 7.11, 7.13, 7.14, 7.15, 7.16, 7.17.
And if you like, Larissa can give you a synopsis of what each of them are, or you could just vote on, it's up to you how much information you'd like at your meeting.
I would prefer it.
Nothing's really changed in any of them, like she said,
I think
these all need to
it
be
doesn't matter.
readopted.
Since it's just policy changes and we have hard copies, I'm fine with just noting their policy changes.
We're required to acknowledge them every year.
Yeah.
Per the grant.
And then adopt them like generally every 5 years unless there's a change, but nothing has changed. It's just time to readopt them.
All right, so I will ask for a motion for the action items that I listed.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
I will second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. So then going back to 7.7, if you could read the resolution, please.
Sure. Okay. Appointing the complaint compliance officer and establishing a complaint procedure. Whereas the County of Lycoming, Pennsylvania is a recipient of federal funds from numerous sources, including Community Development Block Grant, and whereas the County of Lycoming is statutorily required to develop administrative procedures and regulations in accordance with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Whereas the County of Lycoming must designate a complaint compliance officer who will serve as the County of Lycoming's designated representative for any and all complaints regarding the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and adopt grievance procedures. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the County of Lycoming as follows. Michael Hagan, Director of Human Resources, is hereby designated as the County of Lycoming's complaint compliance officer. I hereby certify that, if I read that part too.
That's okay. Thank you. Motion to accept resolution 2026-09.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 7.8, resolution 2026-08.
Okay. As enforced policy. A resolution of the County of Lycoming, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania regarding nonviolent civil rights demonstrations in accordance with EL 101-144, Section 519. Whereas the County of Lycoming supports the prohibition of excessive force by law enforcement agencies against any individuals engaged in nonviolent civil rights demonstrations, and whereas the County of Lycoming supports the applicable state and local laws against physically barring entrance to or exit from a facility or location that is the subject of such nonviolent civil rights demonstrations. And whereas it is a requirement of the Community Development Block Grant Program, and now therefore be it resolved that the County of Lycoming adopts this as the County of Lycoming's policy against excessive force relative to nonviolent civil rights demonstrations.
And a motion to accept resolution 2026-08.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Aye.
Okay, and then lastly, resolution 7.12 on the action items, resolution 2026-09.
Appointing a language access coordinator. Whereas the County of Lycoming, Pennsylvania is a recipient of federal funds from numerous sources, including Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, and whereas the County of Lycoming is statutorily required to comply with Section 601 of the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and Executive Order 13166. Whereas County of Lycoming must designate a language access coordinator who will serve as the County of Lycoming's designated representative for any and all complaints regarding language access for persons with limited English proficiency in accordance with Section 601 of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and Executive Order 13166. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the County of Lycoming as follows. Michael Hagan is designated as the County of Lycoming's language access coordinator.
Okay, thank you. Motion to accept resolution 2026-09.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you, Larissa.
Thank you.
And you did great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 7.18, Nancy. Nancy with us? Phone?
How come she never tells us we did great? Why is that?
Your head would be
We're
too
Chairman.
big. I can get those, Scott.
Great, thank you.
Okay, and I think I might have had to get those anyway, so I apologize. Action item 7.18, vote to approve youth level of services usage agreement. And this is a 2026 approved budgeted item.
Okay, motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side? Aye.
Action item 7.19, vote to approve the agreement with Ben Darling, PhD LLC. And this is a 2026 approved budgeted item.
Accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side? Aye.
Action item 7.20, vote to approve the agreement with Cardio for Days LLC, also a 2026 approved budgeted item.
Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side? Aye. Okay, Adrian. Morning.
Morning. I'm requesting approval of a professional services agreement with Jessica Bentley Sassaman to provide American Sign Language interpreter services as needed. $80 an hour is the compensation. It is a budgeted item, and approximately 30% of these costs are reimbursed by AOPC.
Okay, motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Sarah. Morning.
7.22, the DA's office is seeking your approval for an agreement with Dr. O'Brien for forensic psychiatric evaluation and testimony, and it is a 2026 approved budget item.
Okay, motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good day. Hey, Kelsey,
Good morning, Commissioners.
we have three.
I do.
Okay.
I have to bundle them now that I have to drive down here. So the first one I have for you is 7.23. It's a vote to amend the agreement with Freeman Peterson Inc. for the amount of $45,000. They're the EDA levy contract oversight and inspection team we have on, and with the increased time it's taken due to unforeseen issues and the weather, they need a little bit extra, and it is within the EDA budget.
Okay, good. Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side? Aye.
7.24 is a change order with Steinbacher Enterprise. This is a no-cost change order, just a timeline extension.
Those are my favorite.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side?
Aye.
7.25 is the vote to approve the resolution to adopt the 2026 Lycoming County Hazard Mitigation Plan.
Okay, can you read that resolution, please? You have it? Okay. You have it back? Okay, we have it now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, whereas,
Want to read it or?
oh, Kelsey, I got a copy.
Yeah.
Chris got me.
Okay, thank you.
The municipalities of Lycoming County, Pennsylvania are most vulnerable to natural and human-caused hazards, which may result in loss of life and property, economic hardship, and threats to public health and safety. And whereas Section 322 of the Disaster Mitigation Act of 2000 requires state and local governments to develop and submit for approval to the President a mitigation plan that outlines processes for identifying the respective natural hazards, risks, and vulnerabilities. And whereas Lycoming County acknowledges the requirements of Section 322 of DMA 2000 to have the approved hazard mitigation plan as a prerequisite to receiving post-disaster hazard mitigation grant program funds. And whereas the Lycoming County 2026 Hazard Mitigation Plan update has been developed by the Lycoming County Department of Planning and Community Development in cooperation with other county departments, local municipal officials, institutional stakeholders, and the citizens of Lycoming County. And whereas the public involvement process consistent with the requirements of DMA 2000 was conducted to develop the Lycoming County 2026 Hazard Mitigation Plan update. And whereas the Lycoming County 2026 Hazard Mitigation Plan updates recommends mitigation activities that will reduce losses to life and property affected by both natural and human-caused hazards that face the county and its municipal governments. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the county governing body that the Lycoming County 2026 Hazard Mitigation Plan update is hereby adopted as the official hazard mitigation plan of the county, and the respected officials and agencies identified in the implementation strategy of the Lycoming County 2026 Hazard Mitigation Plan update are hereby directed to implement the recommended activities assigned to them.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to accept resolution 2026-10?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side? Aye. Thank you, Kelsey. Have a good day.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Gary. Morning.
Morning. Action item 7.26 is vote to approve the quote for process control solutions in the amount of $17,389 to replace the PLC and HMI touchscreen on Baylor 9. This was not originally a budgeted item, but there is funds available. So this is for our main baler in our recycling facility. It bails all the product that comes out of there. Current PLC that we've been having issues with is not only obsolete, but the fix over the past, I don't know, a couple of years, an output burns out, they come in, jump to a spare output, and we can basically put Band-Aids on it. Well, we're out of spare outputs, and this machine's pretty important. So this machine goes down, the bins get full, tipping floor is full, we're dead in the water. We can't bail any more products. So we had got quotes on a brand new baler, and these are old quotes from at least a few years ago, and a new baler is well over $1 million back 3-4 years ago. So
Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I see it's a Marathon AB 1400. That's the upgrade at 27,000. Is this part of that? Or not? Because you're only asking 17,000 over here. So are we not getting a new piece of electronic? I was just wondering if there's a warning under the piece we're buying. Oh yeah, micro locks 1400. 6-inch panel view plus 7. Is there any type of warning on that?
I believe so. I'd have to check on that to be 100%, but
All right, I'll second.
Okay. All in favor side?
Aye.
Aye.
thank you.
Thank you, Gary. 7.27, Leslie.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning.
Morning.
Today, we're seeking your approval to renew our ESRI contract in the amount of $270,900. This is going to be broken out over 3 years for a rate of $90,300. And we've reached out to ESRI just to see if we could do anything about the cost, but unfortunately it goes by population. So it is what it is for this one, and it is a budgeted item.
Okay, thank you. Amy, you have anything you want to say about it?
This is critical. Pretty much everybody that spoke today, GIS has touched in some capacity, particularly the plans, but even with CDPG,
Amy,
census
Could
analysis.
you come up for a second?
Sure.
Introduce yourself, your title, and what you do for the county.
Sure.
Thank you. That's important.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Amy Fry. I'm the GIS supervisor within the planning department. I've been here 18 years, so not quite 20, but GIS, as I mentioned, from the audience, touches almost every aspect of everyone's lives at the county. I do a lot of analysis with the data for all the plans that support our future and respond to emergencies currently going on with counterparts out in DPS. So we may be taken granted. I don't know, but most people, GIS has impacted their lives.
So we have some first responders in the audience today, and they know how critical GSI is. You agree?
Yes.
Right
Yeah, where's her office? I need something done.
across the hall.
Okay.
I'd be happy to help. Yeah, there are a lot of our municipal partners, nonprofits. I've helped out a lot of entities throughout my time here. I've worked with STEP. I've highlighted it in past years in this very meeting. Applications I've done for their entity that serves beyond Lycoming County. So
Thank you. Thank you.
So I appreciate your support.
Yeah, thank you for your service. Yeah.
Now you mentioned, real quick, Amy, before you run off. I know you don't want to be in front of the camera, but you're so cute.
Oh, she-
You can be in front of the
She
camera.
loves the attention, don't.
You mentioned some of this GIS work through the new Esri contract could be utilized for DPS.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So this is something that we could probably have partially grant funded for any of those.
I know that that is what helped launch GIS at the county, was public safety, the 911 readdressing project. So there, yeah, public safety and GIS is instrumental.
So that's good, I think, for the public to know, because as a lot of this IT technology that we are implementing at GIS, it is grant funded. So we are looking at that pretty heavily. So some of this could be paid through a grant through PEMA. So just putting that out there, which is really good.
Yeah, and it does flood mapping.
Oh, yeah, hazard, yeah. Flood mapping.
Yeah, and Amy and I just had a conversation about how critical it is for DPS for emergency services on an address.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Can we have a motion?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Favor say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning,
Good
Commissioners.
morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Item 7.2A is a request to approve the RFP to environmental planning and design in an amount of $149,930 for the professional services for the Lycoming County Comprehensive Recreation Parks Open Space and Greenway Plan. The project is approved budgeted item and includes a $100,000 grant from DCNR and $50,000 from the county match.
Okay. Motion to accept.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All fair side. Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks,
Have a
Jaime.
good day, on you.
Good morning.
Morning.
So item 7.29 is a resolution. Would you like to?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Resolution authorizing the filing for the master grant agreement for the Williamsport Area Metropolitan Planning Organization, agreement number C9200001383 with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation between the County of Lycoming, acting through the Lycoming County Planning Commission and the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. Whereas the Secretary of Transportation is authorized to make agreements for transportation projects and programs. And whereas the agreement for financial assistance will impose certain obligations upon Lycoming County, including the provision of local project costs. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the County of Lycoming that the Lycoming County Commissioner Chairman, Director of Management Operations, Chief Budget Officer, or Procurement and Grant Officer are authorized to execute and file an agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation to aid in the financing and research and/or development of data collection and analysis for the Williamsport Area Transportation Study in accordance with the approved Williamsport Area Transportation Study Unified Planning Work Program. That the Chairman, Director of Management Operations, Chief Budget Officer, or Procurement and Grant Officer are authorized to execute and file such supplements or any other document is required by the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation effectuating the purpose of this agreement. That the Director of Lycoming County Planning Commission or the WAPS MPO Secretary are authorized to furnish such additional information as the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation may require in coordination with this agreement.
Okay, thank you.
What this resolution is updating is who can sign. Now it's Shannon's position, Heather's position, and Shanita and Lisa for the digital signatures. That is what this is.
That's what it's, why didn't you just say that?
I
Why didn't
know.
you say that?
That's what my little note said, but everyone else read their agreements. I read mine.
I think it's important to read resolutions, so that way the public knows everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great, thank you. So, motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All fair side. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Thanks, Emily.
Okay, Shannon.
Okay, action item 7.30, vote to approve the following appointment to the Lycoming County Planning Commission. Justin Ulmer, effective dates 2/26/2026 through 12/31/2027.
A motion to accept.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I'd just like to thank Mr. Ulmer for stepping forward and wanting to serve and everyone who serves on these important boards throughout the county. We see how critical they truly are. We had a meeting last week with the Planning Commission regarding a chicken farm over in Nippenose Valley, and so we see the critical part they play in infrastructure, and that's just one board. And there's many boards throughout the county. We have some openings still on other boards. If you're interested, please apply. We have an application online that you can go down and whatever your interest is, just please check it, send us your interest, and we'll forward it onto those boards for consideration. So we appreciate everyone who partakes in those boards. With a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Cindy. Our treasurer here for the last item, 7.31. Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
So before you, you have 28 agreements, and they are for the collection of the county township portion of the real estate taxes that will be out March 1st. In addition to these 28 that are listed, we will also collect for Cummings, McHenry, and Jackson townships, just for public knowledge. I'll read the 6 new municipalities that we'll be collecting for will be Brady, Du Bois Town Borough, Franklin Township, McNett Township, South Williamsport Borough, and then Washington Township. And that's important. So if anybody in those areas have questions about their taxes, they can call our office. And then we've been acting as the elected tax collector for Armstrong Township, Bastrop Township, Cascade Township, Fairfield Township, Gamble Township, Hebron Township, Jersey Shore Borough, Jordan Township, Lewis Township, Limestone Township, Montgomery Borough, Montoursville Borough, Moreland Township, Muncie Borough, Du Bois, Nippenose Township, Penn Township, Picture Rocks Borough, Pine Township, Plunkett's Creek Township, Southeastburg Borough, Upper Fairfield Township, Woodward Township. So those agreements are before you for action today.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to accept?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome. One other tidbit, just for anybody that lives in the city, our office will continue to collect the county portion of the city taxes, and then the city treasurer will collect the city portion. So I just also wanted to point out what a savings this is for the county. We're going to be saving over $100,000 by my office collecting those. And I believe it's a good benefit to the residents of Lycoming County because we have access to residents not 24/7, but 24/7 on the website. So you can get a tax cert online, but you can also call the office to get your tax certs for closings or questions or receipts. In addition to that, you can go to any Citizens in Northern Bank to pay those bills that will be coming out March 1st.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good
Cindy,
day.
if you don't mind me adding, I would like to add to that because I think it's, not to take anything away from local tax collectors. Obviously, the system was designed to have local tax collectors. So in your community, you had someone you could go talk to. But the nice thing with the county doing it is we do have regular business hours that are available for people to come in and talk.
Right.
Which, again, not taking anything away. Please don't everybody get mad at me for saying that. Not taking anything away from a local tax collector. But not necessarily, most of them work out of their homes, not necessarily they have traditional hours. So I think it's a huge benefit.
It is a good
Yeah.
benefit. And there are 20 still elected tax collectors that do a great job for their communities. They're people, but again, we're there 40 hours a week for, attorneys, closing facilities to reach out and get stuff immediately. We do have, like I said, the online options. So, bigger isn't always better, but in this case, it is helpful for the residents and cost savings.
And is the city's tax collector, is their treasurer still across the street in the
Correct.
bus terminal?
Diagonal under the green roof.
For people looking through, I know several times I've run into people here looking for that office. I just point that out there across the street.
And they are a little unique. They will also collect the school district portion of real estate that comes out July 1st out of Motor Roth. where, my office does not collect any of your July 1st, which are your school district portion of real estate. But those March 1st tax bills should be in your mail March 1st. They'll be out there, so.
And I'm glad you clarified too, that by looking this, anybody who might be out there may think that they have to come and drop their payment with you, and it's still available to drop it at the bank.
Yes, they can drop it off the bank, they can mail it, they can come in to see us. Right now, we're issuing a lot of receipts for the 2025 year. So if you're getting like a rent rebate or a tax rebate, you may need a tax receipt, you can get that from us. We're mailing and emailing a lot of those out.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right, commissioner comments. Someone have anything?
I don't think I have any this week.
Yeah, the only thing I have without trying to sound corny or sappy or anything, we often discuss national politics. The State of the Union was just this week, and we were just talking about other stuff this morning, and how divided the country is. And I've said this before, and I like to repeat it once in a while, how appreciative I am for not only these two, but all the elected officials I work with, because in every county meeting we sit in, I'm the only Democrat. And it is never, I've been treated well, and I think we've worked well together. And just from hearing, you would hope that that's the normal way that it is around, but from going to some of these CCAP meetings and stuff, you talk to other minority commissioners, and it's not always like that. We've talked to business leaders who said in other counties, we can't get the 3 commissioners in this room at the same time. So I know how lucky I am. And again, I'm grateful for Scott and Mark, but also all the other people that I get to work with on a daily basis. And I would like to think that our ability to cooperate and work together just ends up being a benefit to our constituents, which is really what we're here for anyway. So again, I know I'm lucky because not every minority commissioner, and they're not all Democrats, obviously in Philly and Pittsburgh, and there are places where the minority is Republican, but I know how fortunate I am, and I think in retrospect, as a trickle down, then it's fortunate for our community.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you. And so now he's gonna make me speak, because
That's why I let you go first, and you said you had nothing to say.
no, I just want to say, as well, I would compliment both my colleagues on professionalism. That if I took anything away from the State of Union address, I honestly don't care if someone stands, but you make your own personal decision about things like that. But just attitude and professionalism, I saw where that did not exist in our State of the Union address with different people that are there. Again, it is your personal choice, but take pride in who you are and what you do and the elected office that you hold. And I think I'm very proud of Lycoming County, as Mark said, not just the 3 of us, but all the elected officials that take pride in Lycoming County. And I think for all of us, it's about Lycoming County. It's not about a Democrat or Republican. It's about Lycoming County, the taxpayers. We do have a mixture of both taxpayers in our county, and we support them all in the best way we can. But I have a very professional team, starting with Shannon all the way through to our solicitor, and the entire team of Lycoming County, as well as the 6 other elected officials. But as he said, you don't find that everywhere. So I almost sent them a text last night, and I said, no, that's just too sappy. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, when they send these text messages, he has sent a couple. I asked him if he's watching the Hallmark Channel. There's a box of tissues nearby.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
That's usually what my wife has on TV, and she has her box of tissues. So, but it is true. I find it an honor and a blessing to work with these two. We're hired, we're elected by the people to do their job, and they want us to get along. And we're hired to think independently, but at the same time come to a common goal. And no one's always right. So it's important to listen to everybody's point of view. And as a chairman, I've always made sure that I listen to everybody who steps up to that podium with an open mind and let them speak freely. Sometimes a lot longer than 3 minutes. Because I think it's important that if you come down here, if you're online, it's important to listen to the people that have put us in these seats. And you might not always agree with them. That's fine. We can disagree to agree. But the thing is, we have a beautiful valley and a beautiful community. And, we often hear, and I hear it usually over when I'm over at Little League, the people come to this area, how nice the people are and how welcoming of a community that we live in. And that's what we want to continue to project in our everyday actions, to be kind, considerate, and friendly to people, and just listen to people, and have an open ear, and be respectful. At the same time, get the job done that the people hired you to do. Make decisions. I often say the worst kind of decision making is indecision, not taking action on things. And then if you make a mistake, admit you're wrong. Nothing wrong with that. You learn from your mistakes. You learn from your failures. And we've made mistakes, and we've admitted them, and we move on, and we try to improve. We're not going to always get it right. There's no doubt about it. But we're going to make those decisions. And when we go into a room and we talk about it, we might not make a decision that day or come to an agreement. We did that with the tax increase. We kicked it around several meetings, but we knew we had to do a tax increase, unfortunately. But we weren't kicking and screaming and yelling at each other, resenting each other. We came out of there and knew we did what we had to do. And these two went to lunch together. I had to go and take care of the dog, and because he eats my lunch, at least half of it. And but I appreciate them both. And we share everything with each other. I get something, I don't care what time it is. I'll text them or call them on the phone and tell them, you guys got to be aware of this. Think about it, sleep on it, come back tomorrow, we'll talk about it some more. But as soon as I know about something, I share it with them, because I do with the previous board. It's important to make sure everybody's on the same page and let them make their own decisions.
I think
Thank you.
another thing I want to mention, and I'll stop saying nice things about you guys. As the chairman, Scott has more control over this meeting than just running. He controls the agenda. He controls the egg timers. We have the 3-minute rule that ever used, as he said, and I've been in meetings where people have started speaking and they say no. And when your 3 minutes is up, they cut you off. And, he said within reason, I don't think there's been anyone in the 2 years that we've been here that if you've come to the meeting, you have something to say, he's going to let you speak. And as long as you're making good, reasonable points, then we let people go. And he has said to us, if you have anything that you want on the agenda, just tell me and I'll put it on the agenda. Because I just found this out. There are some counties that rotate who the chairman is. And I was like, well, that's a neat idea, but I guess it's only necessary if there's like a power struggle when you're in or whenever is in, and like we don't need to rotate the chairman, because he's as open as cooperative as a chairman could be, but just like he could rule with more of an iron fist, not a whole lot more, but more, and he could control this meeting a lot more than he does. But he is open and cooperative, and I know I appreciate that. And again, the constituents probably don't even know they appreciate it, because they probably didn't know that he had that control. But if you come to speak, we're going to let you speak. And as elected officials, if we want it on the agenda, it'll be on the agenda. And again, that doesn't happen everywhere either. So we're lucky in Lycoming County.
They give us one of these, this gavel. When I was a CEDACOG president, they gave us one down there, and I've never used one of those. There's no need to. You just have people come up and you respect each other, and you don't have to slam a gavel. There's no need for it, in my view. Some people like them. I don't.
Well, if you saw him swing a baseball bat, you understand why he doesn't swing a gavel.
That was a good. I swung it back good.
Sure. That's what I hear.
I did. Okay, any public comment? Yes, Mr. Bender. Morning.
Morning. Morning, Commissioners. A couple of different things. Todd Winder, I'm president of the West Branch Firemen's Association and also chief of the Clinton Township Fire Department. So we're responsible to cover the landfill, as you know, and there was an incident there within, I think, the last 10 days where a gentleman was performing maintenance or cleaning. I'm not sure exactly what he was doing in the recycling building, and fell into a pit about 8 feet, was potentially significantly injured. I don't know what his injuries were. Once they get to the hospital, a lot of times we don't hear about it, but I just wanted to commend again the people at the landfill because of an information gap. The gentleman from the landfill that called 911, and he then called several people. I don't know if he called your office or Shannon or who he called, but he told me he made several calls, and he thought that he told them that the gentleman had fallen about 8 feet into a pit. Well, I talked to Dustin out at DPS, and he listened to the phone call and called me and said no, that he just said that he fell. Because it should have been dispatched as a rescue assignment versus an ambulance call. So we didn't have the resources from our fire department responding to it that we should have, had we known that. But I just want to say again that if you're familiar with like submarine steps, where each step on the ladder is different and it's almost straight down, that's how to get into the pit. So we couldn't immobilize and lift this gentleman out with the equipment we had in the landfill, or on the ambulance, but the landfill has that truck out there that has rescue equipment in it. And I just want to urge that, and Gary knows it, but the new advisors or whatever you have, whatever their position is to oversee that, the people that are out there that are trained in that, we were able to have them go get that truck and bring it in, and we used the landfill equipment to package that patient and bring him up. It was myself and Brad, who's with me here today, we're part of the crew. And again, we're not faulting anybody at DPS or whatever, or the person that called, but I did talk to Dustin, and he said that they always kind of assumed that everybody at the landfill had certain training and that sort of stuff. And with the overturned people, they don't necessarily all have it anymore. There's still some that are still employed there that have it, and we relied on them, and they helped us greatly. So I just wanted to commend Gary and his crew out there again, and he get out of here. But we work well with those guys out there, and that truck and equipment that's on it is imperative that it be at that facility, because in my 26 years as a fire chief and responding to that place since it's been open, it's a myriad of situations out there. We've had, there was a gentleman that fell out of the back of the truck, out of a box truck into your truck that carries the garbage up to the top, and it was empty, and he landed on the steel. And if it wouldn't have been for one of the landfill gentlemen that opened his airway, he would not have survived the incident. And he was critically injured, was airlifted out of there, but that was many, many years ago. But it was the landfill people that are there first, that are the very first responders before they even call us. And they have made the difference out there. So I just, any way that we can help Gary and his crew out there, when Al was there, we were going out doing some trainings. I think one morning every other week, we'd go out, we'd train on some certain things with them, give them some enough knowledge basically to be dangerous, but to also help us when we get in there to do our job. So I just wanted to say to you guys to make sure you know that you got some great people out there that really take care of that place. The other couple of things I wanted to say, I just wanted to touch on what you said, Mr. Metzger, is that, when you made the comment about making decisions and stuff, and Brad can attest, I say it all the time to a lot of people, that when you sit in a big chair, you can't stand on the fence. You've got to make a decision, right or wrong. And then if it is wrong, acknowledge it and say, I messed up, and change it. So I commend you saying that. We don't get that with a lot of elected officials. I'll just leave it at that. We just don't get that all over the place, whether it's local, state, federal. So the last thing I wanted to say is I'll put my hat on for West Branch Firemen's Association. Greatly appreciate you guys putting us together with the Delta Group to try to find funding. I know when Dean Miller sat with the gentleman, the two guys that were there, when Dean and I left, we had a pretty good talk about it, and we're hopeful. I don't want to say, too much, but we're hopeful that we can find some funding for them for that. We have formed a committee recently to try to bring all the fire departments that much closer together, the two training organizations, to put them under the umbrella of West Branch, so that we have one group coming to say, hey, we need this, instead of this group, that group, individual fire departments. But we have a committee that's been put together to work on some, it's called an SOG, a Standard Operating Guideline Committee, but we're trying to get all the fire departments to operate a certain way. And the person that's in charge of it, that's heading up the project, we talked, and we're doing a project on filling tankers and rural water operations. And it is coming to fruition. I think he's searching for outside funding, that every fire department would have the same equipment. And it wouldn't be, when you get there, trying to, okay, what fitting do you have to hook up to fill your trucks with? So, yeah, and I've said to him many times, I said, baby steps. We get something easy that we think every department in the county can go, yeah, I can get on board with this. Then maybe we can step up to some harder things that might not be so acceptable to everybody. But in the long run, we all admit that this is what has to happen, but got to get everybody on board. So we're taking some baby steps for moving forward. And like I said, I hope Delta can help us. And I hope Tyler and some of the other guys that are looking for funding for this project succeed with gas and oil industry and some other business and industry within the county. And then the last thing I'll ask you is that since Ms. Toon is no longer with the county, and I'm early, but the way West Branch meets the budget request, when is it due? And has that changed? And who do I send it to? I mean, I always copy the supervisor, or the commissioners.
Send it to Heather Lehman.
Heather Lehman.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's still with the procurement office.
Still
Yeah.
fiscal.
Yeah.
That if I send it there,
Correct.
okay.
Yeah,
So
you
Heather
can
Lehman.
certainly just send it to financial management, and actually everybody in the department will get it.
Okay, great. And what's your deadline for submissions for outside agencies?
That I don't
I would
know.
do by earlier the better.
It's usually like June, I think.
I do it sometime in June or July.
Okay.
No later than July.
Because we don't meet till April, and then I don't think we meet until June. So I want to finalize our request at the April meeting, and I don't want to.
Just shoot her an email and they can actually set up some time to meet with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for meeting with Delta. What we did was, we reached out to Delta. They're our lobbyist, and we knew the funding had been cut for the West Branch fire. And we know how critical first responders are. We've supported them, and over the years, this was a very tough year. And same thing with the library. So we set up 2 meetings with the library board and with Todd, and they came in last Friday, met with them for an hour, both organizations. And they're going to go out and try to look for some more funding for those agencies. So we're trying to do our part to help you guys and the library to locate those additional funds. So, and we'll continue to, when we say no, we just don't say no. We're still trying to help those organizations that do good things in the area. We'll look at all resources possible, try to assist. Yeah. Yeah, anything?
No, yeah. I'd just like to say to Mr. Winter, thank you for the comments today. Because we know sometimes we're not your biggest fan. You're not our biggest fans.
Like I said, it's never personal. It's always business. I represent people just like you do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fight for my people just like you're fighting.
And we understand that. There's been more than one day that we've come into the office and we said, did you see what Todd put online last night? But we are eternally grateful for your lifetime of dedication to not only the fire service, but all the emergency services that you've touched. Again, we hope that we're not seen as rivals, but just as, like you said, as adults who sometimes disagree. And, the communities, every community needs more people like you that are looking out for the people that need help. So, we do, even when you aren't in love with us and we're not in love with you, we certainly appreciate what you do and what you've given your life to. And we do thank you for that.
Your community is better because of you and your service.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, any online?
I do. I have one online at MCG 581. How can we obtain a written copy of all resolutions passed today? I believe once the meeting minutes
Posted.
go up, it'll be posted along with the meeting minutes.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Okay, great. Oh, sir, I didn't see you.
Oh,
Good morning, come on up.
Good morning.
You just state your name for the record.
I will.
Thank you.
I'm Tom Zimmerman. I live at 927 First Avenue in the city near Williamsport Hospital. I want to thank Mr. Metzger for noting the Navy birthday and the segue you've given me regarding the library. I represent the Friends of the James V. Brown Library, and that organization is a not-for-profit fundraising group of volunteers that has been actively supporting the library since 1960. Programs, services, and events. In 1983, the commissioners expanded the scope of the library to include the county library system, which involves 5 additional libraries. They're all unique and they all provide specific services to their respective communities. The concern that I have is that multiple events have reduced the funding available to not just the Brown Library, but to the others in the system. And this has put a reduction in hours at the Brown Library from 65 hours available to the public to 51 in just 2 years. Jersey Shore is now down to 45 hours. Consistent with Commissioner Messina's comments in previous meetings, blaming will get us nowhere. And I am here to encourage not trying to go backwards, but to find a path forward whereby the 6 libraries in the county can be more publicized and their programs and events and services can be more promoted. In addition to that, I just want to mention that I started attending the county library system meetings earlier this month. And there is tremendous collaboration from all of the directors and the activities and events that each of the respective libraries offer. So I think the path forward involves promoting more philanthropy. Public dollars and funds raised for services are becoming limited. And at the same time, philanthropy involves gifts, donations, and sponsorships. We need to be thinking and working collaboratively to try to expand all of those. And the last thing I will do is mention that March 2nd is also Dr. Seuss's birthday. And some of you may participate in Read Across America activities related to that. And next Friday, March 6th, the Friends, in addition to fundraising for the library, also sponsor book reviews. We have one coming up on Friday, March 6th. We do 8 book reviews a year, and they're always from 12:15, which is a little past noon, till about 1. So you're welcome to attend that. And I would entertain any questions that you might have. And if you don't, thank you for the time.
Well, I would just say, the commissioner that sits on the library board, and if you were at the last meeting, it's the first one I missed because we had a chamber annual event that we was just double booked. But yeah, I agree with your sentiments exactly. We've talked about, money is tighter. We certainly don't want to see the library system go away or be severely hurt. We understand there are adjustments that are going to need to be made. And you mentioned the hours of operation is one of them right now. We're hoping that, this is kind of the new frontier that we're going into, and how to adjust. How do we promote better? How do we get more community contributions? And what services can we reduce without a great effect? And after a year of looking at it, we may see we cut this program and we got to figure out a way to fund it to bring it back. Or we may see we cut another program and it didn't really have that much of an effect. So, we're in a learning process with not just the library, but with funding for other things, like we've just talked about the fire system, and there are lots of nonprofits across the board that we are just fiscally able to give less to because we don't have as much. And you're right. When I've been there, I've stressed we have to look forward, whether it's with fundraising or with other philanthropic endeavors, to keep our library system functioning as well and as healthy as it can. I'm a big supporter of the library. I've said that before. My kids, my ex-wife is an avid reader, and she had our kids in the library all the time, not just to get books, but for the story times and the moms groups and the educational programs that the libraries presented that I didn't even know they had until I had kids. And it has been such a benefit for my family directly. And I love the library. I'm in it at least once a week. So I appreciate your comments because I echo almost everything that you said. And we are trying to keep it strong and healthy. We just might have to do it a little bit differently than we've done it in the past. But we're trying, and we appreciate your group for trying, and because we all see the value of not just the James V. Brown Library, but the library system itself.
Well, thank you. And just one other comment. In the community, people think of the James V. Brown Library as the building they see from 4th Street. I've numerous times had conversations. I've been pretty much a lifelong resident here, and lived in our current home since 1987. There are folks that don't connect the Welsh Children's wing with the library, let alone think about the other 5 libraries in the county that are part of the system. So periodically, we just need to remind people and try to heighten awareness, which will lead to not just use, but donations, gifts, and sponsorships. Well, thank you again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your comments.
Any other public comment at this time? And there's no more online?
There's no more online, but I would like to speak a little bit to the gentleman who came up to talk about the library, and just kind of, I guess, educate, because this is something I'm learning as well. I as well love the library, and I live in Jersey Shore, and I love our little library there. But moving forward, how we're going to be handling things, and I think this will be helpful to the public. And I don't know if people understand, when we donate money, it goes into one pot. So we, as the Board of Commissioners, and me as the director, we are not the one who decides which library gets the portion of the funding. it goes into one pot and the library director will decide that. But we kind of made a decision, and we felt it was a good decision moving forward that you guys will be seeing on the agenda as an informational item is exactly where that funding is going that we have donated to the library. So this past year, we donated $1 million. So as we dispense some of that money, the library system, the director is going to be tasked to let the public know exactly which library that money is going to and exactly what that money is being spent on. So that way it's very transparent. The community knows exactly what that money is being utilized for, because once we have given that money, we have no say so or control of where that money goes. It is all purely at the discretion of the director of the library system. So we felt that it would be really good for the community to know how that money was being spent. So you're going to start seeing that right on the agenda.
Thank you. And I think everyone knows this, but I'll just repeat it. They just stopped doing passport services at the library. I think it was earlier this month. I don't remember what day exactly, but that was not a decision. That either came from the state or the federal government. That came from way above us. That wasn't our decision. So yeah, we had nothing to do with that.
Okay, if there's nothing more, we have completed our agenda. So we will be adjourned until March the 5th, 2026, right here in this meeting room. Thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Great day.